Lafayette Pool. It is a name that maybe you've never heard of until now, but you may have heard of his exploits. Pool, when he was alive, was considered by many to be a top tank commander in U.S. history.
That's right, a genuine hero from World War II, and he was born and raised right here in the Coastal Bend. Tonight, our Michael Gibson has the story behind the legend in this special report.
Many people believe that Brad Pitt's portrayal of a World War II tank commander in the movie Fury is based on Lafayette Pool.
The dying's not done, the killing's not done.
A real tank commander during that war who was born in Odom in 1919 and then raised in Taft.
As far as I'm concerned, that was my dad and every tank commander in World War II.
Rick Pool and his sister Deborah Craig spoke with us about their late father. They both now live in Uvalde, along with their 89-year-old mother, Evelyn. She remembers her husband as a true hero and a man who was nominated twice for the Medal of Honor.
He got every medal the States has except that one. And those young men in the armored tried to get it for him.
Staff Sergeant Lafayette Pool served in World War II with the 3rd Armored Spearhead Division. He was known as War Daddy, and his tank was called In the Mood, named after that famous Glenn Miller song. Pool is known as the #1 tank commander in U.S. history, but very few people know about him in his own hometown, and there are no monuments or schools honoring this man.
I'm not really comparing him to Jesus, but Jesus wasn't accepted in his hometown either.
In just 80 days of fighting, he knocked out 12 German tanks and over 250 Nazi vehicles from June to September of 1944. Clayburgh County District Attorney John Hubert had never heard of Lafayette Pool until we mentioned his name. Hubert was a tank commander himself back in 1991 during Desert Storm, fighting in the same 3rd Armored Division that Lafayette Pool had served in.
He was trained in the basics. He was trained in how to accomplish certain things, and then he took his knowledge base and then he expanded it to be so much more effective than what we even thought the tank could be.
Back in 1970, Lafayette Pool moved back to Taft. He and his family lived in that 2-story house just across the way, which happens to be just a few hundred feet away from the Blackland Museum, a place where we found pictures of a young Lafayette Pool, along with a man who feels he is way overdue for some serious recognition.
He probably needs the Medal of Honor. To me, that's the wrong that needs to be righted.
Alan Miller is an insurance agent in Taft and a former school board member. He knew the Pool family and was able to pick out some pictures of a young Lafayette Pool in some of these pictures the Blackland Museum has on display. They're back when he went to Taft High School, where he was a football player, cheerleader, and class valedictorian. He then went on to try and get a degree in engineering at Texas A&I in Kingsville. But with war clouds looming, he and his twin brother joined up with the military.
He always said, war is hell, but it's a necessary evil.
Something needs to be somehow or another recognized so that our future generations realize what a hero really is.
Now, the Army did name a tank training facility at Fort Knox after Pool, and at the gate of a U.S. Army base in France, there's a full-size replica of his tank in the Mood.
He was not a seeker of publicity in any way whatsoever. He was himself, and he didn't look for publicity.
Born and raised in the Coastal Bend, Michael Gibson, 3 News.
There you go. Now you know. Still to come here on 3